Hi, welcome to the Mayor's Magazine. Have an interesting show. We're going to be talking about allied arts. We're going to be talking about the Oklahoma City Blazers and maybe even Major League Soccer. Before we do that, we're going to be talking about Myriad Gardens. And joining us now is Jim Tolbert. Jim's been involved with the Myriad Gardens for how long, Jim?
26 years.
26 years. Now, Jim he was downtown when downtown wasn't cool.
That's right.
A long time ago.
A long time ago, that's right.
You moved your office to Bricktown and, in fact,
in 1985.
Remodeled an old building there.
Right. We finished a building Neil Horton had started.
You went through some hard times there.
We went through some hard times, went over there. The first 6 weeks we were over there, I was the only resident of Bricktown.
So there was parking readily available?
Parking, yes, right, plenty of parking.
Okay. Myriad Gardens, tell them where the Myriad Gardens is if someone doesn't know.
Myriad Gardens is downtown between Robinson and Walker on Sheridan, and between Sheridan and Reno.
How did it all come to be?
When the IMPA was commissioned by Dean McGee and others to design a new plan for downtown Oklahoma City in the late 60s, an element of the plan that he found the most intriguing was creating a central botanical gardens in the center of the downtown area. To encourage the city to do this, a delegation of leaders went to Denmark and visited Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen, and based on that came back and with pay developed a plan for the gardens.
Now, one thing we have coming up in a few weeks is an anniversary in the gardens. What's that all about?
That's right. It is the 15th anniversary of the opening of the Crystal Bridge. On the 25th of March, the bridge will be open free that day, and will be a significant celebration for us of reaching that stage in our evolution.
Now, Crystal Bridge, and I've been in there. It's really fabulous. It shows all the different climatic zones in Oklahoma. And
well, the Crystal Bridge is very unusual in that it's a tropical garden with 3 entirely different ecological zones. It has what we call a wet mountain, which is a thoroughly tropical environment. It has a central zone that's a transition zone, and in the north end, a dry mountain, so that you have 3 different climate areas for 3 different types of tropical plants. It's a very significant tropical collection as well.
You have hundreds of thousands of people a year.
Yes,
there are
hundreds of thousands of people visit the Crystal Bridge, and probably well over 1 million visit the gardens as a whole.
Right. Let's look back. I think we have some B-roll that shows some of the early days in the Myriad Gardens. You've been through a lot of challenges in the Myriad Gardens.
Yes, we have indeed.
Here we go. We're taking down.
This is taking down the old Biltmore Hotel.
Fred Jones got his sign in there.
That's right. And there you can see what the beginnings of the grading for the gardens.
We're looking north.
We're looking north toward the downtown. It was 4 square blocks before it was formed into the gardens. That's constructing the foundation for the Crystal Bridge, which initially was all we had because there was no money for building it up. Subsequently, private funds were raised, and the Crystal Bridge itself was put under construction.
What did it cost originally? You have any idea,
I think about $4.5 million for the bridge itself.
Wow.
The tricores around the side were a major technological development that made it economic. That's creating the artificial stone on the south end that led to the creation of the waterfall. That's early before it's planted, when you have stone and pathways, and the beginning of the bringing in of the trees.
Now, Jim, you were chairman of the Myriad Gardens Authority, and you're chairman now of the
foundation. I was chairman emeritus of the foundation now.
And you followed Dean A. McGee.
Yes, Mr. McGee and I followed McGee, and I became chairman of the foundation the year the Crystal Bridge opened.
Now look at that. Isn't that fabulous? And you can go in there in the dead of winter and you'll be in a tropical climate.
And it's very, very exciting to be there in the dead of winter. And when there's an orchid, we have now one of the finest orchid collections in the country in the Crystal Bridge. There are orchids blooming year-round in the bridge.
Now, in the early days, it was not entirely popular, and there were even some struggles on city council and things of that.
Yes, indeed. There was because it took so long to develop, and because of the concept of building it down into the ground and creating the lake at the water table and creating berms around the edges, it was not popular, and it didn't have big popular support. So when a time came for the city to commit major funds itself, up to then the funds had been federal funds, it was controversial, and there was a controversy on the council, and the final vote that led to the opening of the Crystal Bridge required one councilman to come back from vacation in Europe.
Wow. Well, we saw on the tape there some of the improvements that have been made. You had some special donations and special gardens.
One of the primary functions of the Myriad Gardens Foundation is to solicit private funds for a public-private partnership to complete the to develop the gardens to its ultimate potential. Not so long ago, Herman Minders made the largest single donation for beautification in the history of Oklahoma City for the development of the northeast quadrant of the gardens into an outdoor perennial garden that in the northeast quadrant represents what can be done in northeastern Oklahoma.
I was there for the opening of that, and Herman and LaDonna Minders are just wonderful.
They're just wonderful people, and it has made an enormous increase.
So what are we looking at in the future?
We're looking at a lot of new additional developments outside. We're exploring the idea of a children's garden in the northwest quadrant of the gardens.
That'd be neat.
We're exploring the idea of developing the north arm of the lake into a winter ice skating rink and a summer wading pool for children.
So that's something that might happen, huh?
Something that might happen.
Might happen. That's
great. We have recently completed the McGee Center, which is an educational and conference center under the plaza. We want to develop further improvements for that. We want to build a new shop in the south lobby of the Crystal Bridge. There's lots of things we want to do that we think can enhance the visitor's experience.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of people watching that like to get involved with the Myriad Gardens. How do they do that?
Well, you can join the foundation. Family membership is $35. Gets you a free admission to the bridge. Gets an admission to botanical gardens all over the country at a discount in our shop, and an invitation to events.
Well, now, the Myriad Gardens, a lot of people, their familiarity with the gardens would come at the time of the Festival of the Arts.
That's correct.
And really, it kind of takes over the whole gardens, doesn't it?
Takes over the whole gardens, and that was one of the reasons that the Arts Council moved to that neighborhood, was to have the opportunity to help enhance the gardens with the festival.
Well, Jim, thank you for your leadership. You received some downtown, in fact, was it the D. A. McGee Award last year?
I know several years ago I got the McGee Award, and then more recently, the Gardens, when I became retired as chairman, gave me what they call the Crystal Orchid Award.
Well, Myriad Gardens, it's gone from, I remember debates and some city council members really attacking it back, calling it a mistake and
yes, right.
a big mud hole and
all those things.
And now, as we see downtown redevelop,
I think it's a major amenity and a major center and something truly unique in Oklahoma City.
Well, you know, as we are beginning to do improvements on the parking garage just north of the Myriad Gardens,
right.
One of the things we want to preserve is the ability to have high-rise housing, look out on those gardens, and really benefit from that great amenity.
I think that's exactly right, and I know you want to accomplish that.
Well, thank you, and again, if people want to get involved, is there a phone number they can call?
I think it will be on the screen. There it is.
297-3995 if they want to get involved in the Myriad Gardens. And the anniversary date again?
March 25th. The Crystal Bridge will be open free to the public that day. There'll be lots of other aspects of the celebration, but we're going to make something out of this.
Okay, so folks, if you've not been to the Crystal Bridge, Monday, March 25th, come down, bring your family. It's free that day, 15th anniversary. And you can see what a wonderful asset that is for Oklahoma City, and maybe get involved with the Myriad Gardens. Jim, thanks for coming.
Thanks.